Okay, now this is the part that we simplify the things. This is exactly the same thing with the factoring methods. If you know factoring methods, you are able to solve this part. So the first part, the factoring methods, is the most important part that you have to learn. Once you learn it, you can do the rest. Even remember the last topic, quadratics. It's all about the factoring methods, how to factorize them. So about the simplifying expressions, since it is the same thing with the factoring methods, I will do just 1-2 examples, and I think it's okay then. For example, let's do this one because we have in here 2 different factoring methods to be used. The first one has how many terms? It has 3 terms, so it's a trinomial. We should use that method, 3 terms method. I need to find 2 numbers. When I multiply them, 10, 1, 10, 2, 5. Those are all the options. And when I add those 2 numbers, they should make the middle part over there. Since there is minus, when I control them in my mind, I do like 10 minus 1. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit with the case, sorry. And 5 minus 2, that's 3. So 5 and 2 I'm going to use. But to make it minus 10, 2 times 5 is plus 10. I go to the middle part. One of them will be minus. So to decide which one is minus, the middle part sign goes to big number always. That means this should be plus 5 times, to make it minus 10, that must be minus 2. Plus times minus. So then let's check once again if those two makes a plus 3. Let's make it sure. Let's be sure. Minus 2 and plus 5. If you do add them, that makes plus 3. So you can factorize the numerator part as x minus 2 and x plus 5. This is all about the factoring methods. In this case, we have the 2 terms. When you see 2 terms, it is about the identities: a squared minus b squared, a cubed minus b cubed, a cubed plus b cubed. This is the method you use when you see 2 terms. So right now 25 is square of 5 directly. 5 squared. This is like a and b, a number, b number. X minus 5 times x plus 5. And simplifying the expressions, after you factorize, you simplify the same things, and that's all. X minus 2 over x minus 5. So about the simplifying expressions, we have some longer examples, which is we multiply the 2 rational expressions, or we divide the 2 rational expressions. So let's solve a question about each case. Let's solve this question is about multiplication. You have to factorize every part you have, then you simplify the same things. So in this first numerator part, we have 1, 2, 3 things. So we check the method trinomial. We have only one option, 1 times 4. Since there is minus, 4 minus 1 makes 3. So everything fits. So the sign of the middle place goes to the big number always. Then it should be minus 4 times plus 1 in here. So you can factorize as x plus 1 and x minus 4, then divide by. So I have to factorize this part. When you see the 2 terms, you need to check the identities like a squared minus b squared. But the first thing that I told you today, the common factor method, you should always check that. I didn't check it in here because there was no more x over there. If there was one x over there in here, which is I had the same letter in all terms, I have to do firstly common factor method. Right now, check that. You see x in every term. The first term can be written as x times x, the second term x times 1. So in this case, we move the common factor out of the parentheses, which is the x. When you move x out of the parentheses from here, 1x. When you move this one out, there remains 1x plus 1. And then times. Factorize this x squared, which is x times x. Write all the factors of it. And again in here, when you see x squared and 4, you mostly want to use the a squared minus b squared method. But be careful. Check firstly if there is any common factor or not. X squared, x times x, this is 4 times x. So 1x is the common factor. You can put it out of the parentheses. So then if you move this out, there remains x and minus 4. So then we simplify the same things. Let's do simplify x plus 1, x plus 1, x minus 4, x minus 4, this one with this one with this one. Everything is simplified. That means when you simplify, they will all get the number 1, which is the idea of simplifying this. We divide numerator part and denominator part by x minus 4, which is x minus 4 divided by x minus 4, it is equal to 1. X minus 4 divided by x minus 4, it is equal to 1. So everywhere with 1, so it is 1 over 1 equals 1. Let's do 1 also with the division idea. So in the division, you just need to do it like the 5th grade, 6th grade. When you have like 2 over 3 divide by 4 over 7. You change this division into multiplication. You keep the first one the same. You change division into multiplication, then you flip the next fraction, 7 over 4. It's exactly the same thing. Now, the first one is going to stay the same. I will also factorize at the same time, 2x and minus 6. So there are two terms, and they have no relation with identities because there is no x squared, there is no x cubed. So I look for the common factor. 2 and 6 has the common factor number 2. So you leave x and minus, this is 2 times 3, 2 is out, so 3 is in. 3. And then check the denominator, there are two terms. Do you see any common factor right now? Check that. X squared and no x in here. And there is no 5 in here. If there is a 5, 5 is common factor, but right now no 5. If there is x, x squared, x is the common factor. So right now, this is the case, the identities, which is a squared minus b squared, 5 squared. So it becomes x minus 5 times x plus 5. So then, from division, I change it to multiplication, and I'm going to flip this fraction, this rational expression in the next step. I'm going to flip this one. I will factorize at the same time and flip that. So I'm going to factorize the denominator and write it to the numerator part. So I need to find, there are 3 terms in here. 2 numbers, when I multiply them, it's 15. When I add them, it should be minus 2. Firstly, I do the checking the logical thing that I explained to you. If there is minus, you check minus 5 minus 3. Is it making 2? Yes. I don't have to write 1 times 15. So 5 and 3 are the right numbers. Later, you arrange the signs. The middle place sign goes to big number. So then I check minus 5 times plus or minus. We need the result to be minus 15. So to get minus 15, minus times minus makes plus, minus times plus makes minus. So I need to use plus 3. X plus 3 and x minus 5. I factorize denominator and write it to up because I have to flip this one. From division to times we change. And then in numerator, first I check if you have a common factor or not. 2 and 18. You can put the number 2 out and it becomes x squared minus, this is 2 times 9. 2 is out, there is 9 in here. So then after you factorize, check that if you can simplify any place or not, which is x minus 5 and x minus 5. We can simplify, but we cannot simplify the others. Oh, we have also number 2 in here. I didn't see that. Later, check inside every parenthesis if you can factorize anymore. X squared minus 9. Can we factorize this anymore? Like one more step. Check that 9 is 3 squared, and here we have x squared. Here we have the case a squared minus b squared. So we can keep factorizing. In up, we have the product of the two parts, x minus 3 times x plus 3. In down, the denominator part, we have x plus 5 times this one. We are going to factorize one more time as x minus 3 times x plus 3. So then simplify the same parts once again, you will. So final result 1 over x plus 5.